everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek.
the Humanist Trek podcast.
And you're listening to Humanist Trek, a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
I like this. Data's like, you sure talk a lot of shit. You should be a politician. How you have used your verbal gift of debate for mere hucksterism and the enhancement of your own greed. No, I take that back. Not a politician. You should be hawking boner pills.
What?
Are you high yet?
Oh, I guess I am.
You just went,
Hawking boner pills.
yeah, he's a huckster.
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Welcome aboard.
Jean-Luc Picard to the Starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
And it's enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the Starship Enterprise.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Heldor Joy, and welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ashmead.
Yesterday, we got back. We did the Littleton, Colorado Pancreatic Cancer Action Network event. What a great day that was.
Yeah, so much fun.
Bruce and Tim were out there with us, and
Tim and Tim and Tim. We had 3 Tims. Such a great cause, great people around. People are really nice always. Well, usually in Denver, we always run into the nicest people. And we won something. What?
I could not believe this.
Fuck.
This is so crazy.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we get there, we hanging out, we're having fun. We played around on the playground for a little while, being stupid like we do. And they do the opening ceremony, so we're all gathered around. We're doing the what's it called?
The Cupid Shuffle. We did a warm-up.
Cupid Shuffle, yeah.
We did a warm-up because it was actually pretty cold out. So there was a lady that came on stage. She had us doing sort of like Zumba type moves, and then they played this Cupid Shuffle, which I was calling the Cuban Shuffle. Sorry. And whoops. We did that. I had one lady come up to me. She's like, "You were my inspiration." While she was watching me dance.
Because you were just bopping.
I was having a good time.
So anyway, then they do like awards for the teams that raise the most money and whatnot. And Bruce said something about like, "Oh, it's us."
It's you.
And I'm like,
no,
"No,
it's
it ain't
not.
gonna be.
Trust me.
No, there's no way. No way."
And so I'm running my mouth. We were over there chit-chatting, and you, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know what
you
happened.
were talking, and I heard it. Okay, so they were like, "Oh, here's, Dad's drum line," and they raised, $16,000 or whatever, and we're just like, "Oh shit, we're such small potatoes compared to some of these people who are really raising money for the work." But hey, it's our first year, right? We start here, we grow from there, and then Allie's just talking about, I don't even know what you were talking about,
Running
but
my
I
mouth,
swear,
as usual.
I heard them say something about new company and community or corporate and community teams, something like that. And the second place amount raised was $633.53, the USS Humanist Trek. And I went, Allie! What?
I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she goes to start pronouncing our names, and she called mine, wrong. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? What did we win? I'm joking.
Could not believe this at all.
No. So we got a little plaque, and then now we're fired up for next year to start earlier and raise more money.
Absolutely. Yeah, so $633. You can still donate at humanisttrek.com/pancan26 and
up until
still
June.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next year, we'll shoot for 1,000 or more. And we'd love to have more people come out with us. Again, Allie, Tim, and Tim. I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl.
You're Tim, and this is your brother Tim, and your other
this
brother
is my brother Tim.
Oh, and your
right.
sister Allie.
Exactly.
And the reason that is because the shirts were misprinted.
Yes, that was funny though. So funny. Anybody else would have been upset by it, but we thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So yes, we will do this again next year. Absolutely, for sure. And it was such a fun time just being together and being silly and goofy and celebrating the work that's being done to make pancreatic cancer a whole lot more treatable.
Yeah. Early detection, and then also being able to have those treatments that are like more effective than the chemo and the radiation. Yeah.
Yep, it's a great cause, and again, you can continue donating at humanisttrek.com/pancan26, and maybe this will be the beginning of our collecting second place trophies. We'll just have a room full of second place trophies.
Yeah, we'll just add it to our collection.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of collections, it's Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 22, The Most Toys. And I can't help but think that the episode title to this is just a shot across the bow at nerds like me who had all the fucking action figures and shit.
I mean, there were a lot of nerds like you then, because yeah.
Oh, there's so many.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? I've got something, sir.
Intruder alert, sir. It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse com.
Number one, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number one, keep them out of my way.
This week, we're working on a contaminated water supply on some Federation colony, and apparently, to do this, we need a shit ton of hytridium. Jesus Christ.
One of those.
Which we're going to get from a trader called Kivas Fajo. Hytridium is an unstable compound that can't be sent through the transporter. So Data's been driving a big rig back and forth between these two ships, hauling
a tanker.
Hytridium.
He's been, he getting through the Strait of Hormuz just fine.
Can we talk about how tiny this shuttle was? He's using the smallest shuttle they have ever built.
It's a cardboard box.
It is. And I don't know if you noticed this, but this shuttle is named Pike. And if you ask its onboard computer a question, it'll beep once for yes or twice for no.
No, it's not. You had me going. What the
beep, beep. It is named the Pike.
Oh, but interesting though, the Pike, and maybe that was an Easter egg for like the cage. I don't know. That's interesting.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. I didn't make that connection, but yeah, you're right.
So yeah, Data is about to load up his big rig and for the last shipment, and he communicates to the bridge. This will be the last trip. Maybe a little foreshadowing there. The bridge acknowledges, and they're gonna let Beta Agni 2 let them know that their departure is imminent, which is where they're going to save the water. So Data gets into the pilot seat of the little cardboard box, and this woman and two, I don't know, guards come up, and she gives him like a little, those FedEx pads you got to sign for your sign for your package. And she's like, yeah, if you'll just acknowledge this last load. And so he puts his thumb on the pad, and he gets like an electric shock, and he kind of just freezes. And then she starts taking a bunch of readings, scanning him, and starts spouting out like stuff that he's made of, like 8 kilos of tripolymer composites and yada, yada, yada.
Are they going to rip out all the copper wire to sell for cash? Is that what we're going to do? Strip Data down and sell the copper wire?
What do they do? Catalytic converters are made of that particular metal that
those
is
get
so
stolen
rare
all the time.
Yeah, so maybe they're stealing them for parts. I don't know. We don't know yet.
Back on the D, Geordi is monitoring the shuttle coming back, but it only gets about halfway between the two ships and it fucking explodes. And you could have given this line to anyone on the bridge, but they gave it to Worf.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in complete shock, and Worf is just like, Data. Maybe I would have given that line to Geordi as Data's bestie.
Or Picard.
Or Wesley.
Or because
or
Picard stood up and he's like in visible shock.
Yeah.
Loading is complete. I am now proceeding with departure. Enterprise Shuttle Bay 2, prepare for docking. Level 1 precautions for incoming material remain in effect.
If you'll just acknowledge this last load, Commander.
Data has been presumed destroyed in the shuttle explosion, and on the bridge, they're already CSIing. Picard calls up Kivas, who is played by Saul Rubinek. Saul's been in a whole bunch of things, but his personal life story I thought was really interesting. He was born in Feurenwald, a displaced persons camp in Allied-occupied Germany, where his father ran a Yiddish repertory company.
Wow.
His parents were both Yiddish-speaking Polish Jews who were hidden by Polish farmers for over 2 years during World War II.
Wow.
And then shortly after Saul was born, the family emigrated to Canada, where he grew up in theater and radio.
Awesome. I know him from, of course, Warehouse 13, which I loved him in. He's such a great actor. But I'll be honest, I hated him in this.
The character.
This character here. And that's a sign of a good actor. When I take an actor I love and I absolutely fucking despise him.
Yeah. Rivas also seems surprised by the explosion and asks if they were able to save the pilot. Sneaky fucker.
Yeah. Is he okay? Unfortunately, no, he's not. And Fajo apologizes. And Picard wants to see his sensor readings, just to compare notes and continue the CSIing. And Fajo's like, well, our sensors are pretty primitive, but I'll give them to you, but I doubt it'll show you anything that your sensors overlooked.
While this BitTorrent data is transferring, Picard asks about the Hytridium. They were able to bring aboard just enough for this mission, but it'd be better if we had, that last batch. So they ask Rivas if he knows where, they can get some more. And he's like, well, the Sigma Irani system, but that's 3 weeks out of the way. And they might not even have any. Apparently, this stuff is super volatile, so nobody wants to keep it around.
Yeah, maybe I'll stop selling it too, because it's just too dangerous.
Riker does a quick Google search and finds another Federation ship near Sigma Irani, so they're going to let them know to hang out there just in case we need some more. The file upload is finished, so they thank Rivas for his help and head off to the Beta Agnes system.
So we switch back to Fajo's place, and Data is kind of just laying there in this big room on a sofa, and he's frozen with his hands in the same way that he was when they shocked him with that iPad. And he wakes up, and of course, first thing he does is check for his communicator, and that's gone. And he's like, what am I doing here? And of course, Fajo and his female, I don't know what you're going to call her, assistant, right-hand woman comes in, and he's just treating Data like he's a thing. And he's like, look at the detail, the balance. What a remarkable piece of work. Of course, Data wants to know, what the fuck am I doing here? And then Fajo continues to talk about him as a thing. He's like, and the voice simulation, it's perfection. Like the inflections, everything. And he's then snapping his fingers around him like this pissed me off. Doesn't even talk directly to Data. He's snapping his fingers and testing Data's responses, and I'm just pissed.
Yeah, he also does that thing that I think a lot of us have done and probably feel shitty about, which is when you're talking to somebody who doesn't speak your language and you're like, yell.
You talk louder, but
yeah,
you talk louder in
help.
English.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Why the hell do we do that? Anyway.
I don't do that.
No, people. I mean, why do people do that? Yeah. I don't know. Let's talk about this room for a moment. This red circular couch that's in the middle of the room is like a brilliant find from the 60s or 70s, I guess. It's just...
I'd take that.
It's such a great couch. And then there are objects all along the walls lit up like some kind of museum. We learn that this lady's name is Varia, played by Jane Daly. Her first credit is a 1972 B horror film called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Oh, that old thing.
6 friends and a theatrical troupe dig up a corpse on an abandoned island to use in a mock satanic rite. It backfires with deadly consequences. I watched the trailer, and however bad you're thinking it is, it's worse.
No.
It was so bad.
I love B movies. I'd watch it.
Anyway, Data wants to know why he was brought here against his wishes, and Rivas says, "You're here for my enjoyment and appreciation." And Data's like, yo, I saw the pilot of Star Trek. This is a cage. And Rivas is like, "No, my dear android, can I call you Data?" And Data's like,
"That's my name, don't wear it out."
Rivas says, "Data, you'll be catered to, fawned over, cared for as you never have been before. Your every wish will be fulfilled." And Data says, "Well, then I wish to leave." Good try, Data.
And he's like, "Almost every wish."
So Data's like, "Well, fine, then I'll have to escape." But when he tries forcing open the door, like we've seen him do so many times, it does not budge. And Rivas explains that it's keyed to galvanic skin responses and DNA. And so Data's like, all right, then you'll have to open it for me. But when he tries to grab Rivas, he's met with some kind of personal force field. And then he takes off running like he's going to charge Rivas and gets knocked way back on his ass. This was a great stunt pull. I liked this.
That's a cool device. It's a proximity actuated field, and it impedes positron flow. So he tells Data, it's not bad. It's not good for you if you keep doing it. So don't do it.
Rivas explains that Data is now part of his collection of rare and unusual things gathered from all over. On a quick tour, he points out a hundreds of years old sculpture, a vase, a dolly painting, the only known Roger Maris trading card from 1962 Earth, including the scent of bubblegum that used to come in card packs. Man, that was core memory. I used to collect baseball cards and shit when I was a kid.
But you don't like sports.
I don't. I
you
did
ever
when I
like-
was a
did
kid. Like I followed. So in Central Illinois, you are either a Cubs fan or a Cardinals fan, and it's very contentious, which is dumb because St. Louis is not in Illinois, but Southern Illinois kind of claims them just by proximity. So Central Illinois, you're right between the two, and I was a Cardinals fan back in the day.
Wow.
Ozzy, what the hell was his name? Shortstop.
Don't know.
Anyway, I
Don't
was
know.
the 1988 Cardinals. I think that was the year they won the World Series. 88, 89, something like that. I was big into baseball back then.
Man.
I know. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. That's why I'm gobsmacked. I'm like, that's not right.
Somewhere, I don't know if I got rid of them because I got rid of everything from my childhood. I don't know if there's a box of trading cards somewhere still that
I was
my
gonna
mom's
say
house. That
your
I
mom
don't
might
know.
still have them.
She might. Then we see a lapling, which is actually a hand puppet, and I thought this was a fun little creature. And Data's like, I thought they were extinct, but everything here is one of a kind, just like Data.
Yeah, this sad little puppet is like the last member of her species. And Fajo goes over and he shows Data a chair, and he's like, "This is your place of honor." And he tells him to sit. And then he's telling Varia is in the room the whole time, and she's just kind of being quiet. And he's bragging because he's got this friend named Palor Toff that he shows all of his shit to. And he's just going to be so jealous when he sees Data. And then Varia gets a call, and Fajo turns his attention back to Data and saying, "You should be flattered." But Data's like, "I am not impressed. I'm not flattered. Most intelligent life forms don't find captivity equitable. It's offensive, and you violated Federation law." But Fajo doesn't seem concerned at all about Federation or anything. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm evil. I'm selfish. Whatever. I've learned to live with it. I'm fine with it. I can sleep fine at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then Varya announces that the call she took, the Andorians are there to make a bid on some Tellurian spices. So he's basically some sort of fucking dealer.
And at first, Fajo is like furious. He's screaming, "They had 4 days. Why do they have to decide right?" Okay, all right. It was just so weird. It's like like I don't know what it's called, like a split personality, like
Yeah, that.
something I don't know.
I wasn't gonna say. Yeah, he can turn the emotions on and off, or he can switch on a dime. He that's what, and I hate him. I hate him.
As Rivas and Varya, Kivas, what the fuck is this guy's name? I kept getting it wrong.
Rivas and
I wrote Rivas and Kivas and I don't know what the fuck this guy's name is.
And Nevis.
It's too complicated. I don't
call
get
him
it.
Fajo. Fajo.
Fajo and Varya leave, and Data says again, "Yeah, I'm really not cool with this whole being in captivity bullshit." And Rivas just says, "You'll get used to it."
I've been delivered here against my wishes. I would like to know the reason.
Certainly. You have been brought here for my enjoyment and my appreciation.
Am I to infer that you intend to keep me captive?
Captive. Oh, it's such an inappropriate description. My dear android, may I call you Data?
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Back in Data's quarters, Wes and Geordi are going through his shit and deciding who should get what. And we see a painting that Data was working on and his violin. And then they're rummaging through his desk and they find a book of Shakespeare gifted by the captain. So he should get that back. And playing cards and poker chips. Riker's probably the best one to give those to. We see Data's medals and then the Tasha hologram paperweight thing. And while they're going through his stuff, they're talking about how they just can't believe he's gone. And Geordi has been replaying the last 14 minutes over and over again, trying to figure out what went wrong.
14 minutes and they're already going through his shit.
I know, right?
But yeah, he's kicking himself. He's like, I should have saw that coming. Why didn't I see it coming? And I guess that's kind of the way it is when you lose someone and you don't get to see their, like, you don't have a funeral. There's no body recovered. And so it's hard to just have it sink in that you've lost them, I imagine.
For sure.
Back in Fajo's den, Varya, Jesus, I'm doing it now. Varya is trying to get Data to, like, obey. She's like, I brought you some clothes that Fajo wants you to wear and sit on your fucking chair. And and he's like, I'm not doing it. And she's like, well, he's gonna give you a reason to if you make him. Data is I love his resistance, and he's like, Mr. Fajo is deluding himself if he thinks he can keep me here. The Enterprise is going to find me, but she lets him know that, hey, they ain't even looking for you. We made it look like you blew up and they're not going to even bother. But he's like, no, they'll scan the debris and discover I wasn't aboard. Well, they've fixed that too. They'll find exactly what they thought they'd find. But that's why she was taking those scans of his makeup so that they could make sure that that's what they would find in the debris.
Sneaky fuckers.
I know. This is clearly not his first rodeo of stealing people or things. And Varya says he doesn't have any moral difficulties at all. And so Data is like, well, do you? And she's like, I see what you're doing. You're trying to seek out vulnerabilities in me, in your enemies. And are you my enemy? And she just obeys Fajo like everybody else does on the ship.
Yeah, he's doing some investigative inquiry here, trying to learn about his captors. And
man, I hope I remember all of this if anyone ever holds me captive. Like all the times that Picard was kidnapped or Riker was kidnapped or Data, I'm trying all these tactics.
Right. There are 4 lights, for example. Can't wait till we get there. Anyway, she tells him that Fajo finds a way to get people to do what he wants, lavish rewards for loyalty, and as she pauses to touch a scar on her chin, she adds equally lavish punishments for disloyalty. And she's like, so you're not going to find anybody on this ship that'll help you escape. He's got you. And Data rightly points out, apparently he has us both. Put a pin in that.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the D, Geordi is pacing the ready room, very frustrated because he has been like up all night trying to figure out what happened. Was there any malfunction? No. So the only possible explanation then is a pilot error, but come on, it's Data we're talking about. There's no way.
He doesn't make errors.
Nope. So Geordi just wants all this whole thing to make sense. And Picard and Riker are both trying to talk him down. Riker tells him that he needs some rest, come at the problem, fresh. And that reminds me of all those times that I used to run servers out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
Web server, mail server, DNS server, all kinds of shit. And whenever the server would crash, I would fucking stay up all night rebuilding and reinstalling and reloading all the things, all the backups, even though it wasn't really anything urgent. Nobody goes to my websites, even today, but something in me needed to have it fixed before I could rest. My mind would not stop thinking about it until I had it fixed. So I get this.
Oh, I totally get it.
Picard tells Geordi, though, you're welcome to continue this investigation, but we're about to arrive at our next mission, and I expect you to be rested. And then he dismisses them, but then, a little less captain to officer, a little more informally, Picard's like, listen, I understand what it's like to, you need to have this make sense, but some things just aren't explainable.
Yeah, whatever. But after Geordi leaves, Riker says that, for an android who didn't have any feelings, he sure was, evoking a lot of feelings in others. I'm thinking, don't you guys care too? Either way, that they're now discussing who's going to replace him at Ops, and Riker suggests Worf as his first choice. So he says, make it so, and then off Riker goes, and then Picard opens the that copy of Shakespeare that Geordi had found in Data's drawer, and he started reading.
And of course, I paused this to look to see that it was indeed Hamlet. You win this week, Allie. Well done.
Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 2. He was a man taken for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
You won't find anyone here on this ship to help you escape. Face it, android. He has you.
It appears he has us both.
Data has made friends with the lapling puppet creature, and he's feeding it when Kivas comes in.
He's making his noise. Loo, 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 loo.
So stupid.
Loo, 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 loo. Loo, loo, loo.
I rewound that so many times. I'm like, where is that noise coming from? Is that Data? It's Data.
Yes.
I'm like, why is he saying loo, 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 loo?
So Kivas comes in, and he is not happy about Data still having his Starfleet uniform on. And he tells Data to, you better just adjust your programming to the fact that you are no longer in Starfleet. But Data says even if he wanted to, it probably wouldn't make him a willing captive. He explains that he's programmed with a fundamental respect for life in all its forms and a strong inhibition against causing harm to living beings. Draw a bright red circle around that. That is going to be the hinge of the episode.
So they launch into sort of this little debate. Fajo says, a military pacifist. Whose dreadful decision then was it to put you in Starfleet? And it was because of his skills. And Fajo is like, no, Data, big mistake. You belong in Starfleet just about as much as I belong in a verbal contract, which means he can't be trusted. But then he asks Data if he's killed or taken a life yet. And Data says, no, I'm programmed with the ability to use deadly force only in the cause of defense. So he's not going to go out and murder somebody, but if he will protect himself or other people.
Have we seen the Enterprise destroy a ship?
Yeah.
And would Data be culpable for that, even though his hand wasn't? It was Worf's hand on the button, etc. But is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's he's part of the machine that does the killing. And
Right.
Fajo kind of tries to point that out. She's like, how neatly you rationalize your capabilities. How can you just casually accept your role in murder? And Data's like, I didn't participate in murder. And maybe you're misunderstanding. Either way, Fajo just was like, can't you see how much better you're gonna have it here? Just your intellectual rewards alone. You don't have to. We're not at war with anyone. I'm a liberator. It's just you and me, buddy, exploring the galaxy.
And I like this. Data's like, you sure talk a lot of shit. You should be a politician. How you have used your verbal gift of debate for mere hucksterism and the enhancement of your own greed. No, I take that back. Not a politician. You should be hawking boner pills. Fajo makes up a story about growing up poor in the projects or whatever in hopes that Data might not judge him so harshly for who he's become. And he even drops a tear, which I thought was a nice choice. But Data points out that your past does not excuse your current unethical and immoral behavior today.
That part.
And then Fajo reveals, well, that story was a lie anyway. His dad was a thief and stupid rich.
Now sit your ass on the chair.
Yes.
But yeah, again, he switches. Like he's just multiple personalities. It's not like you're not even talking to the same person from minute to minute.
Yeah. And super manipulative. So when Data refuses to sit, he goes over to a replicator and orders up 100 dinkers of something called phenoplaque. And for a moment, you think he's going to drink it, but then he splashes it onto Data's uniform, and it immediately starts like burning, disintegrating the fabric. Fajo says that this juice won't harm Data's skin, but the uniform will be gone pretty quickly, and while he would enjoy Data going around naked.
Okay,
oh
what?
my.
I didn't know what to think about that, but I kept it moving. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. He assumes that his Starfleet training will suggest decency and that then he'll put on the purple and gray jumpsuit. So he leaves Data with this choice, but he tells him to decide by dinner time because they're having company and he expects Data to be entertaining.
Yeah. Data's being so disobedient and he is trying everything he can to get him in line other than physically torturing him and bringing out the whip, it's just I hate him. Back on the D, Geordi's having a bad dream. So I thought this was interesting. Like, is he just sleeping for the night or is he just taking a nap between shifts or something? Because do they all sleep in their clothes? Because he's in full Starfleet uniform. Like, I don't think he hasn't even taken off his shoes. But
yeah. I mean, it wasn't even clear to me, was he just laying there with his eyes closed and replaying the events of the explosion over and over again, or was he dreaming it? Like it wasn't very clear, but I think he was supposed to be asleep.
Yeah, I got the sense he was dreaming because you could hear the voices that were replaying in his head.
Yeah.
Sort of an echo. And you could hear Data's voice. The last thing he said was proceeding with departure, Enterprise Shuttle Bay 2, prepare for docking, level 1 cautions remain in effect. And Geordi wakes up and he's like, I did miss something.
This was fun. In a hallway, Troy catches Worf heading to his first shift at Ops and taking Data's place. And she's a little worried about him and his feelings, but Worf reminds her that, being promoted due to the death of a crewmate is just another day on a Klingon ship. And she's like, yeah, but this isn't a Klingon ship. And also, this is the second time in 3 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation that you've replaced a fallen comrade. You got to feel some type of way about that, but Worf says he will honor Data's memory like he did Tasha's by attempting to perform his duties as well as they did.
He's
like, very Klingon.
I appreciate your concern. Leave me alone,
Yeah.
In LaForge's office, LaForge and Wesley, of course, I love them too. They are LaForge, and Data are the 3 Musketeers, and I want friends like this. If something happens to me, I want them to turn over every rock to find the reason. So they've got the last transmissions pulled up and they're replaying stuff, and they're playing the audio recording from his second trip. And just what he says when he was dreaming, Data says, proceeding with departure, Enterprise Shuttle Bay 2, prepare for docking, level 1 precaution remain in effect. Shuttle has cleared the Jovis cargo bay. And it sounds exactly to the letter like the first trip. LaForge is like, yeah, that's protocol, though. That's data. And following protocol to the letter. So then they replay the audio transmission from the third and final trip. And sure enough, it's exactly it. It's not just he's saying the same thing, it's the same transmission.
With one notable exception. This time, Data didn't say, shuttle has cleared the Jovis cargo bay. Anybody other than Data might have, just slipped that and not said it, but Data would be like protocol down to the word.
Yeah.
So this isn't quite a smoking gun, more questions than answers, but maybe something was wrong with Data. There's no evidence of that either, though, and Geordi says he wishes he could talk to the last people to see Data alive. Back in the cage. I wonder how much of this is scripted and how much of it is Brent making choices. Data has the case where that baseball card is opened again, and he's sniffing the bubblegum scent.
Yep. He actually seems like interested in some of the stuff. Like, yeah. So he's just
like he's at a museum checking the things out. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's made friends with the little hand puppet. Now he's checking out the bubblegum. Oh my God. Kivas and Varia arrive with their dinner guest, and this is some crazy makeup job on this dude. He's got more holes in his face than humans have in our whole body, and it looks like there's some metal ribbon of some kind coming out of one of those holes, and it like wraps around his head. That was crazy.
This is Fajo's friend that he was bragging about. What's it, Toph?
Yeah, Paylor Toph.
And he comes in, he's bragging about, oh look, I've added a Velton sex idol to my collection, and Fajo's like, I've got 4 of those. Anyway, they're just kind of bragging back and forth, and then Data they come to Data, and Data, I love this. Data is silent like a robot, and not saying anything, and Fajo's like, okay, Data, say hi to my friend Toph, and no need to be shy, and Data's not fucking moving or blinking. And this is pissing Fajo off. And Toph's like, oh, is this a mannequin of some sort? And Fajo's like, this isn't a mannequin. It's formerly Lieutenant Commander Data of the Enterprise. It's the only sentient android. Well, he doesn't seem very sentient right now. And no matter what Fajo does, Data is doing his silent resistance, which
so
chef's
good.
Kiss. Chef's kiss. It just continues to piss Fajo off. And he's demanding that he behave normally. And basically throwing a tantrum. And he raises his hand to hit him. He hits him, and Data still in full, I don't know what you call it. He's still in that full act, falls over, stiff as a board.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. You don't light as a feather, stiff as a board now?
What the fuck? No. What is
From
it?
The Craft.
Oh. No, I don't remember.
Paylor Toph is played by Nehemiah Persoff, who was in Some Like It Hot, a movie I know you know, Twins, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
And famously from my childhood, he was the voice of Papa Mouskowitz in the 1986 animated film An American Tail and all of its sequels. No? An American Tail is a classic. Somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the dad mouse.
Someone's thinking of me. Oh, yeah. Is it Disney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, old school Disney. Toph says he's having a fun time despite this android stuff, and Fajo is a good mix of angry and embarrassed now. And as Toph tells Varia to come along because she's more fun to play with than Fajo's new mannequin, Fajo leans down to Data and says, "You'll regret this." And then we see Data's eyes kind of flutter.
Lulu.
You are still wearing that uniform. Why?
I am a Starfleet officer.
You are not in Starfleet any longer. It's time you adjusted your program to accept reality.
Even if I chose to do so, it is doubtful that my program could be sufficiently altered to accede to your wishes.
Oh?
I've been designed with a fundamental respect for life in all its forms, and a strong inhibition against causing harm to living beings.
What a marvelous contradiction. A military pacifist. Tell me, whose dreadful idea was it to enlist you in Starfleet to begin with?
Come in.
Allie, I want to tell you about my bra.
Okay.
As a trans woman, finding a bra that actually fits right has been a fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a large torso, like I have, bra makers just assume you have giant breasts, which I do not. So I kept getting too tight around the chest or giant cups that my little itty bitty titties just couldn't fill. Then I found UnderOutfit. The idea of going to a store to get measured and fitted, that ranks somewhere between a transporter malfunction and first contact gone wrong. A terrifying prospect, but UnderOutfit's 180-day return and exchange policy means I can try different styles, sizes, and colors right here in the comfort of my crew quarters. If something doesn't work, I just send it back. No judgment, no pressure.
Oh, nice.
Wash it, wear it, wash it again, and you can still send it back within 180 days if it's not working for you.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I discovered the Comfort Shaping Bra, and it's become my everyday under uniform go-to. Supportive, comfortable, and my favorite part, the pads are sewn in.
Oh, thank God.
No more fishing the pads through that little fucking hole in the corner.
Where can I get some of those? Because I'm so sick of fishing, like you said, fishing those pads to where when I wash my bras, I've got those little zip container things where you fold it and that way they don't come apart. But I'm sick of doing that. And I would love, where do I get it? Because sign me up.
Humanisttrek.com/UnderOutfit.
And they've got shapewear too?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Sold. Sold. I'm so fucking tired of those types of bras. To the where I only wear sports bras these days, and I just forget the underwire, forget the padding.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I measured myself right here, and this is like one of the few places where the measurements match the product, and there's like loads of different styles too, right?
Okay.
So
those I don't like. I want a pullover with no clasp. I hate the clasp. I don't do that.
Allie, UnderOutfit has those too.
Awesome.
Adjustable straps, not adjustable straps. Like there's all the fucking choices.
I will be shopping today.
Attention crew, UnderOutfit is now the official underwear of Humanist Trek. They have bras, underwear, activewear, shapewear, and more. Get 15% off your first order at humanisttrek.com/UnderOutfit. The Enterprise is arriving in the Beta Angus system for their next mission, and Geordi reports they've loaded a Class 2 probe with tritium.
Tritium.
Jesus Christ.
Tritium, sorry.
Tritium. Yeah, my Google Doc kept fucking auto-correcting this to tritium, because apparently that is a legitimate substance.
Tritium?
Yeah. Tritium is something we've made up, and Google doesn't recognize it. Anyway, probe is loaded, ready to launch, and up on the bridge, Picard is giving orders to enter close orbit, and he slips and starts to say, "Mr. Data, scan for life forms," or whatever. But he corrects himself and apologizes to Worf. That's a mistake anybody would make. It's still fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's something you've said a million times. Mr. Data, scan the subsurface water of the colony.
Yeah, but it feels awful, I'm sure. But they're trying to do business as usual. They've scanned the planet, and there's this tricyanate. Is that what it is?
Yep, I think so.
Tricyanate contamination is what they're trying to fix in the water levels. There's a high concentration west of this colony, and they're going to target that area, and they're basically going to shoot this high tritium down into the water supply, and that's supposed to fix it. The amount they have is enough to neutralize the contamination. So they get to the target, they launch the probe, and they follow it as it enters the water. And I've watched Artemis 2. I know how long it took to get to the surface. You know? But yeah, so they've shot the probe through the atmosphere down to the surface into the water, and it's dispersing slightly faster than they expected. And then they see something unusual, or Worf does. He's getting concentrated tricyanate readings of 70 grams per cubic centimeter at the source coordinates, much higher than it would normally occur.
So Riker's going to take an away team down to scope things out, and he takes Dr. Crusher and Worf. Back on Fajo's ship, Data is making faces at a Mona Lisa painting on the wall. Every time we cut back to him, he's fucking around with some other thing.
I mean, he's got nothing else to do. He's
Exactly.
captive, but like they don't have him in a brig or anything, so he's in this room with all of. I would smash every fucking thing in there.
Oh yeah, break it all.
Except for the little loo thing.
He's trying to like replicate Mona Lisa's smirk or something, and Fajo comes in again. And again, he tries to get Data to go sit in the chair, and Data's like, you can't expect me to continue to resist. Resistance is not futile. Then Fajo goes over to another display on the wall, a necklace or something, and his hand triggers an in-wall safe to slide out of the wall. And of course, he starts to unlock it, and he like tries to hide the combination with his hand from Data. And he unlocks it, and he takes out a heater. And Fajo explains this is a Veron T prototype heater. Only 5 of them were made, and he owns 4 of them.
Jeez.
This one under his pillow, and he sleeps quite well, knowing that it's under his pillow, because this is a nasty weapon. It doesn't just kill. It tears you apart from the inside out, slowly and painfully.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Of course it's banned by the Federation.
Data doesn't think he'll shoot him with the heater because Data's too valuable to Fajo. And he's right. So instead, Fajo calls Varia into the room and starts talking about how they've been together 14 years and she was barely legal when he found him, and that's a little problematic, but
yeah.
She was idealistic and full of dreams, and he says he made those dreams come true, but he'll miss her. And he points the heater at her, about to fire, when Data says, Fajo, and he looks up to see Data sitting in the chair.
And of course, Data's programming is to protect others, so yeah.
Yeah. The away team beams into the Foam Rock cave playset where there's a pool of water, and this sure looked a lot like that pit where they were digging for the Toxutot on Risa.
Oh, yeah.
Just with a pool of water at the bottom instead of a sand pit to dig in.
Probably.
Looked very familiar. And Crusher reports that the contamination has been neutralized, which is very surprising because this process should have taken hours. Worf says naturally occurring tricyanate does not respond this quickly, which suggests maybe this contamination isn't naturally occurring.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this leads them to the hypothesis that perhaps this is sabotage.
Crusher's like, well, why this? Why with tricyanate? It's slow to assimilate and it's difficult to replicate and hard to transport. Surely there's easier ways to poison a water supply, but it would pass for a natural disaster, one, and there's only one way to treat it, which is high tritium. And it's really lucky then that they've happened to know someone who had some high tritium, which is such a dangerous and volatile substance. What a coinkydink.
And not only some high tritium, just exactly the amount that they would needed for this mission. Huh. That's sus. Yeah.
Curiouser and curiouser.
So back up on the D in the conference room, Riker, Crusher, and Worf report out maybe Fajo contaminated the water in order to sell them the counter agent. But that doesn't add up either. High tritium is expensive to produce, so there wouldn't be much profit for Fajo. So they pull up a bio on Fajo, and it notes that he's a renowned collector of rare and valuable objects like Data. In fact, in the early 2000s, he was taking artifacts from Iraq and operating under the cover of a hobby store. More on that later. So they turn and haul ass back to the site of the shuttle explosion, and Wesley sets up a search area using the maximum speed of Fajo's ship and the time elapsed since they left. Riker suggests reaching out to all the star bases within the perimeter too, and Picard doesn't think he'll be hard to find because he's a traitor. So he needs to be easy to find in order to do the business that he does.
And then they switch back to Fajo's place, where Data, again, left alone. This time he's trying to get into that wall safe. And then Varia comes in and says, if I help you escape, will you take me with you? He's sleeping and we don't have a lot of time. Data tries to warn her, like, he just tried to kill you. And if we were caught, she's like, I know. 14 years, you learn a few things. So there's an escape card in the cargo bay. Let's go. But then she goes and opens the safe and gets the disruptor.
Okay, but also, we just learned the Jovas has a maximum speed of warp 3. The escape pod won't go that fast. Wouldn't Fajo just wake up and go, oh, there you are, and like
Boom.
snatch them back up? This is not a solid plan.
Yeah, but that's the only. I would kill Fajo in his sleep.
Yes.
Since she seems to have all the codes. She's got the code to the safe for the disruptor. I would have killed him a long time ago.
Yes.
But then again, you know how fear is funny that way.
Mm-hmm.
When you and captivity is also a whole psychological thing on that too.
Yes.
But she could have tried to kill him and then took the ship, kill everybody else on the ship and say, hey, I'm the captain of the ship now.
Or if you kill him, then that frees everybody else from the fear of his, rule of terror or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, quick jump back to the D where they get a hit from one of the stations that has seen Fajo recently, so they head that way.
I would very much like our relationship to change.
You may expect me to use every means at my disposal to resist your wishes.
Why couldn't you just comply? Why do you have to argue all the time? Couldn't you just go sit on the chair? Go sit on the chair.
I do not intend to sit in the chair.
In the cargo bay, Data suggests calling the D, but Varia says comms are restricted. She also says that the escape pod will transmit an emergency beacon, and once they launch, it'll set off an alarm. So again, what are the odds someone else will come help them before Fajo wakes up and just easily finds and destroys them? Sure, buddy.
It's not a good plan. But
No.
she's just made up her mind all of a sudden after 14 years. And for a minute there, I thought, well, maybe she's playing him for something like, but no, she was serious, but she just didn't think it through. Data says, yeah, he's trained in evasive maneuvers. So she's going to go over to the panel, start the escape sequence, and an alarm is going to sound. And from there, they don't have a lot of time. So Data gets in the shuttle. She goes and mashes some buttons. The alarms go off. These two guys come in. One runs in. She doesn't see the other one. The other one comes up behind her and overpowers her and then cancels whatever she did on the console. Data doesn't see any of this, I guess. But he comes out and he ends up like taking them and tossing them like kind of like Worf, just tossing them like they were nothing. So then they try it again. He gets back into the shuttle. She goes back over to the console, but then it's too late. Fajo enters and it's sort of like a standoff between Fajo and Varia because the disruptor's on the floor between them. And they both look at it, and then they look at each other, and then they look at the...
There's a moment there where she has this look on her face like, fuck, we're cooked.
Yeah.
Like, busted. This is not going to end well. Like, I feel like she kind of knew what's coming.
So, yeah, I think they dive for the disruptor. He gets it, and then for a minute, he has this glimmer in his eye, and he's about to turn away, and he has a little bit of relief on her face. Like, oh, he's not gonna kill me. He does care about me. And then he fucking points the disruptor at her and she dies screaming.
Oh my god! They've killed
Varia!
You bastards!
Data missed all of that. He hears her screaming and comes out and realizes, Fajo killed her. And Fajo tries to play that whole psychological thing on him. Oh, it's your fault. You made me kill her.
There's an interesting choice that they made here too. Fajo shoots Varia. We watch her like disintegrate, and then he throws his heater off to the side as if maybe he does feel some kind of remorse about doing it, or like he just he just tosses it to the side like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But then he like regains his composure pretty quickly and tells Data that it's all his fault. So is this another one of those like multiple personality situations where maybe there is somebody inside of him that does feel some type of way, but that's not the dominant personality? I don't know. It was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Fajo walks away as Data picks up the heater and follows him, but Fajo believes that Data won't hurt him because what Data said earlier about his programming, fundamental respect for all living beings and such. Of course, he forgot about the other part about killing in the name of defense.
Killing in the name of.
Data orders him to put his hands on the shuttle and reads him his rights, and Fajo's like, or what, you'll kill me? We both know you won't do that. As one of the henchmen starts getting up off the ground, Fajo gets to do a bit of evil monologuing.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated!
As he tells Data that he should just accept his fate and go sit in the damn chair and dance, monkey dance for his guests. And if Data doesn't, maybe he'll just kill somebody else. Maybe that guy.
He's awful. He's
Mm-hmm.
fucking awful.
He tells Data that his only options are basically go sit in the chair or kill me. And he believes Data won't kill him so much that he shit talks his way through this. Oh, if only you could feel rage over Varia's death, the need for revenge. Maybe then you could fire, but you can't because you're just a bucket of copper wire and algorithms. You can't feel anything. It's just another interesting intellectual puzzle for you. Another of life's curiosities.
But Data says, I cannot permit this to continue. And he takes aim at Fajo again. And Fajo's like, wait, hang on. Your program won't allow you to fire. You can't fire, no. And then just then, I guess, the D arrives and they transport Data.
Really? Fajo doesn't have some kind of transporter jamming device to protect his prized collection? Sure, buddy.
Yeah, because he's got that whole personal security force field, so don't know.
Back in the transporter room, O'Brien and Riker are a little shocked to learn that there was a weapon detected in the transport and that it had been discharged.
What? Because we didn't see it.
No, we didn't. Nope.
They did that just for us to like question, did Data have a human moment of like rage? Because we didn't see any heater go off.
O'Brien deactivates the heater and brings Data in, and Data tells them to take Fajo into custody and hands Riker the heater, explaining what it is. Riker notes that it was in a state of discharge, and Data fucking lies and says, maybe something happened during transport. Bullshit. Bullshit.
That is a total lying is a human trait, and he did it in the other episode when with broccoli. So Data's catching on to humans real quick.
Data visits Fajo in the brig, and he's like, oh, sure, you've come to see me beg for mercy. Well, that's not going to happen. And he mentions how they've swapped places now, Data, the collector, and Fajo in the cage. And Data tells him that all the stolen artifacts from Iraq in your collection have been confiscated and are being returned to their rightful owners. You've lost everything you value. Fajo thinks this must please Data to see this happen, but Data throws his words back at him. I cannot feel anything. I am only an android.
I love it. Oh, man. God, I hated this guy.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'll be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but you know, I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Another interesting take on the cage concept. This time, though, there's a different layer of not just capturing and imprisoning life forms, but stealing shit from museums, right? Like,
Yeah.
this reminds me a lot of and I said it a couple of times, those Christian monsters that own Hobby Lobby who smuggled in looted artifacts from the Middle East, and they got their comeuppance like Fajo. And this episode leaves me thinking again about, a lot of things. Fajo will likely be imprisoned somewhere. What does that look like? We've talked a lot about, what justice in the future looks like. Is there a rehabilitation of some kind? And if we force that upon a perpetrator, would that be immoral? Or does he just serve some time in a shitty cell only to be released worse off than when he came in, like we do with people today?
Yeah.
And then he just goes back to stealing shit, but maybe it's worse now?
Isn't that usually what happens? Like, he's not
Mhm.
not going to be rehabilitated. Or they could send him off to the Tantalus,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, and have reprogram his brain and
Brain! What is brain?
work out those millions of personalities he's got, because his brain
Right.
is fucked up. I don't know. And then also there's the question again of Data's personhood. Like, the way that he treats Data is so much like a thing. The thing that he loves about Data is the thing that won't allow Data to exist in a cage.
Right.
And he does call him sentient, so yes, he's a
He
sentient
knows.
being.
Yeah. Right. What about the emotions and feelings that often accompany justice? Data doesn't feel anything, knowing that the people who had been stolen from will be getting their shit back. But as humans, we have strong feelings about justice, how it's served, and whether or not we think things have actually been put right.
Mhm.
Is returning their shit enough? Should Fajo also be court ordered to pay $3 million fine in addition to returning the more than 55,000 artifacts that were stolen from Iraq? Don't shop at Hobby Lobby, everybody. They fuck those guys.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he serve time? Like, what is appropriate justice? What is
All of it. First, you you make them pay a bunch of money. You give their shit back, then you make them pay a bunch of money and hit them where it hurts because money is important to them. And then you imprison them. So you do all of them. So you just got I don't know. I think you should try to make it difficult for them to do it again. I don't know.
It also just now, I didn't plan to talk about this, but just now it made me think of working in an elementary school, and some of the adults in charge are very consequence driven. So anytime a child does a thing, there has to be a consequence. Well, are we making sure that does the punishment fit the crime sort of thing, right? Are we making sure that the consequence is appropriate to the action that was the behavior that was happening? And a lot of times it's not. A lot of times, the appropriate solution is not a severe punishment. It's just, we have a conversation about this and talk about why we shouldn't be doing this or whatever. Like there's different levels of what that should look like. And this guy has done some real bad shit. So I feel like his consequences, the justice for him is of a higher order, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially now he's murdered somebody.
Yeah. And Varya, and poor Varya. Speaking of Varya, I feel like she's suffering from some sort of Stockholm syndrome. Plus, she was taken when she was young and impressionable. She knows she's a captive, but she's sort of, I guess, somehow in her mind learning to just deal with it and be obedient.
She reminded me a lot of someone in a dangerous relationship, in an abusive relationship, and that fear, the control that makes you feel like, I can't get out of this. He's going to find me. He's going to kick my ass. Something bad's going to happen, whatever.
Yeah.
And then something happens. Somebody comes along that shows you a way out and gives you an escape path,
Yeah. Even if it's not well thought out, she was going to do it. And but also she was the one telling Data, just do what you're told. Just and he won't, it'll be fine for you.
At
He'll
first.
lavish you. Yeah,
Yeah.
at first, but then when Data made her realize, okay, you're a captive too.
Yes.
And she probably knew on some level, but I can imagine there's that psychological beatdown that happens and she doesn't even try to escape for 14 years. So
Yeah. That's a long time.
the power of manipulation and the threat of harm is quite powerful.
And then finally, for me, I like Data's line about how your past does not excuse your current unethical and immoral behavior today. And I think we get confused about that sometimes. Your past can absolutely help explain why you are the way you are today.
Yeah.
But as Allie often points out, at some point, you have to take responsibility for who you are and your actions now. That's on you. You cannot blame that on your, shitty childhood forever.
Yeah. That's a pet peeve of mine about people is they use that as a crutch all the time. Well, of course I killed 20 people. I was treated badly when you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just using that as an example, but people do it all the time as a crutch. I don't know. I just love Data in this. He gives those glimmers of humanity in his I don't know, mannerisms, his defiance, his sarcasm. Because he's so Data is a shady bitch. But I love those the things and the lying, because we know it's so weird. The things that are specifically human, like he shows glimmers of, and we see it, but then he can just at the end like, I don't feel anything. And I just love it. I freaking love it. You shady bitch.
Well, did anybody die in this episode, Allie?
As a matter of fact, Varia died, and I wrote a rhyme about it. Want to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here it goes.
We're here together to honor our friend and comrade. We will all find time to grieve for her in the days that are ahead. But for now, she has asked that we celebrate her life with this.
The leopard ate her face. The leopard ate her face. Kivas Fajo was a dirty dog, a common in space. And Varia was his crown jewel, she had ham on her face. She tried to tell Data, man, you need to behave. But Data made her realize she was also a slave. She tried to help him escape, but things didn't go to plan. But she was face to face with Fajo with a gun in his hand. In her last moments, Fajo's eyes glimmered. She didn't actually think that he would pull the trigger. Well, she was wrong. And she died screaming. Peace out.
Rest in peace, Varia.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money?
The money he stole!
You stole his money?
Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
As always, we'd like to thank everyone who supports the show, and a special thank you to our founding admirals. A special thanks to Allie, Peter, Sarah D., Bruce, president of the Continuum, Bear and Keurig podcast, and some call him Tim. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. And, Allie, this week we're beaming aboard a new lieutenant.
Awesome.
Welcome aboard, Lieutenant Birdbath.
Welcome, Birdbath. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
Thanks, Birdbath, and thanks everyone for listening and supporting the show.
Can you read what Birdbath said?
Oh, yes. Let me
I
pull
found
that
that hilarious.
Yeah, there's a chat feature in Patreon that we really don't use because everybody's on Discord for the most part. But Birdbath sent us a message after joining. Hi, all. I joined up after listening to 125-ish episodes while getting stoned walking my dog.
That's
You
our
are
listener
people.
base.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm. Yep.
Yep.
I appreciate all you guys do to be real and stay positive. Oh, thanks so much.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the Academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
Becca's back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge for the most toys. Remind us again the question.
In this episode, Geordi returns a red book to Captain Picard. The captain reads a brief quote from the book. He was a man, take him for all in all. No, that's not what the quote said. He was a man, take him for all in all. Oh, it is what it said.
That is what it says. You're reading Shakespeare, you know.
Oh my God, I'm not good. I shall not look upon his like again. The book is a copy of the collected works of William Shakespeare, but what play is the quote from?
I believe Allie got this one correct.
Did
What
I?
were our guesses?
What did I say?
Sarah guessed Julius Caesar.
Not that.
And in an upset, Allie takes the win with Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Affirmative.
Quote is from Act 1, Scene 2. So congrats, Allie.
Well done,
Yay!
Allie.
It was a guess.
Next time on Humanist Trek, we'll be discussing Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 23, one of my favorite episodes, Sarek. The Enterprise is plagued by an outbreak of violence when it is visited by a renowned Vulcan ambassador. So here's what I remember about this episode. Sarek comes on the D, and he's got some kind of Vulcan late life disease. And he's like projecting emotions onto people. He cries at a fucking 4-piece ensemble concert or whatever. I remember that. And his wife, Amanda, is like super protective. And I don't know that she knows what's going on, if I remember right. He's keeping it from her too.
I know the episode. I don't remember details though. Yeah.
Well, what's our question then for Sarek?
The script originally involved another ambassador, but writers decided to use Sarek. What was the reasoning behind this decision?
Why?
Mark Leonard called up and was like, "Hey, give me some work."
Yeah, can I
Can I get some work here?
Can I be in Star Trek again?
Yeah, like, is this another, like, fan servicey nod to TOS fans?
Was Mark Leonard in any of the movies?
I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. When the Search for Spock, he was there for that. Yeah. Was it around the same time as one of the TOS movies?
That's what I'm wondering.
That would be weird, though.
Well,
wouldn't it? So maybe it had something to do with, like, in order to get him in TOS movie, like, part of the deal was, but I also want to be on a TNG episode. I don't know.
I'm spitballing. I have no idea. Because what other reason would they just bring him back for, Did he die?
Can I just point out, the question refers to why the writers made the decision, not the casting.
Oh.
So it was a decision by the writers of the script.
Okay.
To use this specific character.
So it had to do something with canon, maybe.
Well, they wanted someone recognizable to fans rather than to create a new character that you have no connection to. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, this is a character the Star Trek universe is already familiar with.
And maybe it was a timeline thing. So I'm just maybe it had something to do with canon, like in the timeline. And
yeah,
did he die though? Did he die?
No.
Okay.
No, he comes back, I believe.
Okay.
For another episode.
I'm going to give a vague answer. It had something to do with canon and him being maybe in the movie, and I don't know. But I don't know why.
And I'm just going to say that they wanted a character more familiar with the audience. Or that the audience is more familiar with.
Yeah.
I should say. Okay. And if you're familiar with this question, share your answer on your social media with the hashtag Starfleet Challenge, and we'll pick out a winner. And next time we'll discuss Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 23, Sarek.
It's a good day to die.
Beverly.
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcasts. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com and visit our website, humanisttrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.